What is up, you guys? This is Joseph Conlon coming to you with your NXT review for Wednesday, November 27th, 2019. Even though today's Thursday, November 28th, 2019. I got a lot to go. I got a lot to get off my chest and to discuss about Takeover War Games, and then last night's NXT show, which was all I thought it was a really great show last night. I'll talk more about it in the review. But before I start talking about the wrestling part, I just want to tell you guys, happy Thanksgiving to all my friends on Twitter and to basically everybody. Happy Thanksgiving. From my family to yours, enjoy this day. Spend time with your families. Eat some turkey. Watch some NFL football. I know I'm going to. We got 3 games on today. One at 12:30. One at 4:30, and then one at 8 o'clock tonight. But that's basically that. I just basically hope you all have a great day. And I got a lot to get off my chest about TakeOver War Games and NXT. I was really upset that I couldn't tape for TakeOver War Games because of the privacy error and all that stuff, and I didn't want that to get in the way, so I just skipped it out on this past week. But I'm gonna talk about it right now. It'll probably be a few minutes, but I mean, this was literally almost a perfect show in my opinion. Basically, if you want to, you could say it was a perfect show. Was this better than TakeOver New York? No, I don't think so. It was the second best takeover of the year, in my opinion. It flew by fast. It got done at 9:30. There wasn't a single bad match on that card. The crowd was unbelievable in Chicago Saturday night. It was unbelievable. I'd probably have to say out of the 5 shows that have happened in Chicago with SmackDown, TakeOver, Survivor Series, Raw, and Dynamite last night, TakeOver War Games was probably the best crowd in my opinion. But, I mean, that show was amazing. You had the opening match, which is the Women's War Games match with the heel turn from Dakota Kai on Tegan Nox. Very vicious, very aggressive. She looked absolutely angry. She pushed William Regal away. She kept trying her best to just beat the crap out of Tegan Nox and took her knee brace and all that stuff. And it was just... Yes, it was kind of predictable, but at the same time, it came off fantastic, in my opinion. It was just a fantastic heel turn. Probably one of the best heel turns in 2019, if you have to say that. I'm going to go in that category, say... It was probably one of the best heel turns in 2019. But then basically the MVP of the match was Rhea Ripley because she was a loose cannon in War Games. She was literally a loose cannon. Trash can hit to Bianca Belair. Squaring off with Shayna Baszler. Hitting her finisher onto Shayna on a set of chairs. That was a great spot. And the fact that she pinned Shayna Baszler in War Games, she looked like an absolute star. Not just at War Games, but in the entire weekend. She looked great at Survivor Series. She looked great at War Games. And when I talk about her on NXT, she's going to be the next women's champion, believe me. So I loved that NXT TakeOver the Women's War Games match. That was absolutely amazing. And then we had the triple threat match with Pete Dunne, Damian Priest, and Killian Dane. I thought that was a really great match in my opinion. Very hard hitting, very physical. I love Damian Priest. He's young, he's talented, and he's going to be a champion in NXT. My guess would probably be give him the North American title first before he gets into the main event scene. He's a top guy in the mid-card scene, in my opinion. You just got to build him up more, and he's golden, in my opinion. He's gold. Killian Dane, this is the best he's ever looked since going up to the main roster. He hasn't had a single great match on the main roster. He's been wasted. He's been buried. He's been stuck in catering. I felt bad for the guy the entire time, and then he came back down to NXT, and I'm like, yes, he's gonna get his dues. He's gonna get his dues from what happened on the main roster, and look at the difference. You put Killian Dane in a takeover environment, and a sold out Chicago crowd against Damian Priest and Pete Dunne, and he's putting a great match. Main roster, the guy is doing nothing. So you want to compare NXT to the main roster? There you go. And then Pete Dunne, the ultimate, the winner of this match. It was kind of predictable that Pete Dunne was going to win, but the finish of the match was very clever. When Dane was doing a set time with Dunne on his back to Damian Priest. Excuse me. And Dunne was just laying on Killian Dane. And then, oh my God, he got the victory over Priest to face Adam Cole for the NXT Championship at Survivor Series, which ultimately turned out to be the match of the night. Is anybody surprised? Is anybody surprised that Pete Dunne versus Adam Cole was the match of the night at Survivor Series? It was a classic. It was fantastic. I could say so much words about this match. Do you want to say match of the year candidate, maybe? You could. You really could. Well, at the end of the year, we'll talk about it. We could talk about this being one of the best main roster matches of the entire year on a main roster pay-per-view. But that was a great triple threat match, in my opinion. I loved everything about it. It was physical, it was hard-hitting, all that great stuff. And then we got into Matt Riddle versus the Prince, Finn Balor. This was short. This was awesome. This is what it needed to be. Like a short 15-minute match. Balor got the win with the 1916, and rightfully so, he got the victory over Matt Riddle. Balor is going to be pushed as a top heel in NXT, in my opinion. Balor brings ratings. You look at, here I go with the main roster NXT comparison. You look at Finn Balor on the main roster. He was Universal Champion. He hurt his shoulder. He came back. WWE dropped the ball on him. He goes back to being Smiley Finn, not really doing much. And then he was feuding with Bray Wyatt, which was ultimately a very disappointing feud in 2017. And then we got into 2018, and he was feuding with? Oh, he was feuding with Baron Corbin. I did not like that feud either. He was wasted then, and then when he should have been in the main event scene, he was in the freaking main card seed, facing off with Bobby Lashley for the Intercontinental Championship. And yeah, 2-time Intercontinental Champion. That was his best on the main roster. Then he comes back to NXT and he turns heel on Johnny Gargano. This was the Finn Balor we wanted to see on the main roster, and we didn't get it, so we got it on NXT, and I love it so far. I absolutely love it. We'll talk about Finn Balor in the opening segment and in tonight's main event of NXT. But he had a great match with Matt Riddle. And then the main event, Men's War Games, Undisputed Era versus Ciampa, Lee, Dijakovic, and the Mystery Man. And the Mystery Man turned out to be Kevin Owens. And what a pop that was. That was absolutely amazing. This match was awesome. Tables everywhere. 5 table spots. A crazy spot was Adam Cole doing a Panama set time with Kevin Owens onto the steel ramp inside the War Games. That was absolutely amazing. That was awesome. We had Keith Lee doing some amazing stuff. Everybody was great in this match. The closing sequence was Ciampa and Cole on the top of the War Games cage, 2 tables underneath. And I guess you could call it a white noise because that's what Sheamus calls it. But it was kind of like a white noise from the top of the War Games cage all the way down through 2 tables. That was absolutely sick. That was amazing. And Ciampa pinned Adam Cole, which is huge because Ciampa's coming for that NXT championship. You bet, and you know it. This was a great match. Um, Again, this takeover was absolutely amazing. I loved everything about it, almost everything. Um, and I had a blast watching it. I always have a blast watching takeover shows, and this was amazing. I loved takeover war games. So that's my little review about Takeover War Games right there. And now we got into the think of things with NXT tonight from Full Sail University. Of course, the fallout from NXT Takeover War Games. And if you want to, the fallout of Survivor Series. Before I start, I just thought this in my head. Before I start talking about War Games, um, I just thought of Keith Lee for a second. And I thought of out of everyone from War Games weekend to Survivor Series weekend, who's the MVP? It's a tie between Rhea Ripley and Keith Lee. I really can't decide who had the better weekend. It's tough. I would have to go with, if I had to choose, I'm going with Rhea Ripley. Just saying. But with NXT, we had the entire locker room celebrating. They came out all wearing NXT for Life shirts. You had Matt Riddle, you had Keith Lee, you had Ciampa, you had Dijakovic. Isaiah Swift Scott was out there, Leo Rush was out there. The entire locker room was out there, and it was led by Josiah Williams. He did absolutely fantastic in this role. Shout out to him. He's absolutely amazing. I love Josiah Williams. He's awesome. He's a great addition to NXT. But before the party officially starts with the crowd chanting NXT and Josiah Williams singing, it gets interrupted by the Undisputed Era, and the crowd boos the Undisputed Era since they interrupted the party. Adam Cole is like, "Why are you guys celebrating? You did nothing this past weekend. It was all the Undisputed Era's weekend, and if stuttering, and he's basically said that this is the Undisputed Era's weekend, and that's a fact with his match at Survivor Series with Pete Dunne and Roderick Strong defeating Nakamura and Styles. And then inside the ring came Matt Riddle, Ciampa, Dijakovic, and Keith Lee. Ciampa said it wasn't all your weekend because me, Dijakovic, and Lee defeated you at War Games, and I pinned you, and I'm coming back for Goldie. That's what he said, and then chance of Daddy's Home for Ciampa, and then Keith Lee got on the microphone, and he cut a really good promo, and then Ciampa challenged Adam Cole for the NXT Championship tonight. The crowd was chanting yes. So was I. Imagine if we saw that tonight. That would have been absolutely awesome. But then Finn Balor comes out and he challenges Ciampa to a match. He said, "I defeated Matt Riddle at TakeOver War Games, and now I want to defeat you, Tommaso Ciampa." Ciampa accepts, and he says, "The prince has met his king." That was an amazing line. So tonight's main event is Finn Balor versus Tommaso Ciampa, which I'll get to last on this NXT review. And then Keith Lee and Dijakovic got on the microphone and said, "Kyle O'Reilly, Bobby Fish, get in here right now because you're going to defend your NXT Tag Team Championships against us." So we got the Undisputed Era and Keith Lee and Dijakovic brawling before commercial break. And then, unfortunately, Bobby Fish got hurt once again. I was very upset about this because he just came back from injury, basically. He came back from injury. He came back around May, I think it was. And he got hurt. He was dumped over the top rope from Keith Lee and Dijakovic, and he landed right on Kyle O'Reilly's knee, and it looked absolutely painful. And Roderick Strong had to come in and replace Bobby Fish. I hope for nothing but the best for Bobby Fish. I hope he recovers fastly. But with Roderick Strong in the match. This match was awesome, in my opinion. Especially the closing sequence was absolutely amazing. Um, Keith Lee had a great performance, but Dominic Dijakovic was the standout star in this match. He was doing unreal things, back and forth with Kyle O'Reilly and Roderick Strong. Um, he did a top rope dive onto the floor, onto both of them, which was absolutely amazing. It got the crowd hyped. Dijakovic is really underrated. He's somebody that I could see it. I think he's a full-time babyface now, which I kind of like, because the crowd loves Dijakovic. And you might want to have to keep him as a babyface, because if you really think about it, with the Velveteen Dream hurt, there's not really that much baby faces to take down Roderick Strong in that North American Championship. So I think Dijakovic could be the guy who takes down Roderick Strong and becomes the NXT North American Champion. And I think Keith Lee should probably be in the main event picture. He's going to get called up soon, I think. He might get called up during the Royal Rumble, because Vince McMahon loves Keith Lee, and that was clear as day at Survivor Series, with him being in the finals with Roman Reigns and him getting a pin over Seth Clowns. So, yeah, and they need a guy like Dijakovic to be that babyface to take on Roderick Strong. So that's all I gotta say. But the closing sequence, oh boy, this was awesome. So we had Adam Cole coming down the ramp to help his boys. And all of a sudden, Keith Lee gives Adam Cole a shoulder tackle into the first row. And it knocks people down. Yes, Adam Cole got shoulder tackled by Keith Lee into the first row. Wow. It was so fascinating. It was so amazing. I watched it about 10 times this morning. I'm not going to lie. On Twitter, I watched that same spot at least 10 times. And it's unbelievable. I would not want to be on the receiving end of a Keith Lee shoulder tackle into the crowd. Because if I was, I'd probably be landing in the 15th row. I'm not going to lie. But amazing stuff. Dijakovic was interfered. He had his mouth open wide like he was shocked. Like that. And then the Undisputed Era attacked Dijakovic. Roderick Strong and Kyle O'Reilly hit the high-low. 1, 2, 3. The Undisputed Era retained their NXT Tag Team Championships against Keith Lee and Dominic Dijakovic. Like I said in the beginning, this was awesome. This was a great tag team match, and all four of these guys killed it. Especially after having a great match at War Games, to be able to have this great match on NXT is amazing. I absolutely loved it. I loved it. It was great. We then got Shane Thorne versus Mansoor. Yes, Mansoor, who wrestles in the Saudi Arabia shows. He defeated Shane Thorne in about a 7-minute match. It was fine. Mansoor is a very talented wrestler. He's very high-flying. He's got good skills. And people like him. I'm a fan of Mansoor, I'm not going to lie. And I feel like I want to see him. I might want to see more of Mansoor on the coming weeks of NXT. I feel like it'd be nice seeing him. That's all I gotta say about that match. It was fine. Mansoor wins. We then had Dakota Kai versus Candice LeRae. The new aggressive Dakota Kai. She got a new theme song. She came out very angry. She looked pissed off, and it looked great. I love this new Dakota Kai. She's vicious. She's angry. She's kind of reminding me of Bayley a little bit. Do you know how crazy it is in 2019 that we got heel turns from two lovable baby faces in Dakota Kai and Bayley? I just thought of that. That's absolutely crazy. But this match was Candice LeRae. Was very good. These two ladies were going back and forth. The closing sequence was Dakota Kai and Candice LeRae were both on the top rope, and Dakota went down. She brought out Tegan Knox's knee brace with her, left it on the ring amp, and it came into play because Candice LeRae, my bad. Dakota Kai hit Candice LeRae with the knee brace to end this match in a DQ. I'm not angry about it. So, Kai threw Candice LeRae into the steel steps. She grabbed the chair and she's gonna hit Candice LeRae with the chair, but she doesn't because Rhea Ripley comes out, stops Dakota Kai. Ripley misses, and Dakota Kai is running away from Rhea Ripley to get away from her, I guess. This was really good. This was a really good match between two ladies, and I'm honestly not. I'm not mad this ended in DQ because it made most sense. You don't want Kai taking a loss immediately after she just turned heel at TakeOver. That would be absolutely horrible. And you don't want Candice LeRae taking a loss either because she's Candice LeRae and she's one of the top women in that division. I feel like if you had like a Mia Yim in this situation go up against Dakota Kai, you could have easily pinned Mia Yim here and you could have gotten Dakota Kai the victory, but I guess Mia Yim was selling her attacks from TakeOver War Games, so Candice LeRae stepped in. And this was good. I really liked it. Good segment, good match. Overall thumbs up from me. We then had a Cruiserweight Championship match with Akira Tozawa and Lio Rush. And this match was awesome, in my opinion. This was an awesome Cruiserweight Championship match. Both of these guys killed it. And I'm about to go into another main roster NXT comparison. Excuse me. This time with Akira Tozawa. On Monday night, Akira Tozawa was facing Andrade. And any given day of the week, I feel like these guys could go out there for 20 minutes and have a clinic. They could have a clinic on any given Monday, given 20 minutes or 15 minutes, even 15 minutes. Instead, Tozawa wasn't able to showcase himself, and he got 3 minutes with Andrade. That right there is a crime. Last night on NXT, Akira Tozawa got 20 minutes with Lio Rush, and it was an awesome match. This was fantastic. Both these guys were in a triple threat match together with Kalisto for the Cruiserweight Championship at Survivor Series. It was a good match then, but this was so much better. Akira Tozawa is one of the most underrated wrestlers in the WWE, I'm going to tell you right now. I love Akira Tozawa's wrestling ability. He's tense, he's very physical, he's high-flying, and he's so talented. And he could be, in my opinion, he could be on the mid-card right now for Monday Night Raw, going for the U.S. Championship. But I can't see that happening with the way Raw has their mid-card situated. Look what happened to Humberto Carrillo. Vince McMahon dropped the ball on him because he kept losing, and the crowd wasn't invested in him, and he's not over. And I'm scared that Akira Tozawa is going to be losing on the main roster. People aren't going to care about him, and he's not going to get over. In this match, himself and Lio Rush were over. They were very over. A few spots in the match were Rush and Tozawa on the ring apron, and Tozawa gave Lio Rush a German suplex onto the floor with Lio landing on his head. Absolutely nasty spot. I cringed, but that was an awesome spot. Tozawa was going for his set time finisher. I really thought he was going to win the Cruiserweight Championship here. Rush got his knees up. He hit a frog splash to Cesaro's back. Got to the other side of the ring. Hit another frog splash for the 1, 2, 3. Lio Rush retains the Cruiserweight Championship, as he should. But this was absolutely awesome, guys. If you did not see this match, please go check it out. This was amazing. Cesaro is very underrated, and Lio Rush is having a great run as the Cruiserweight Championship, putting on great matches with the likes of Angel Garza and Akira Tozawa. I would like to see who steps up next to Lio Rush, because in my opinion, I'm saving Angel Garza for the next takeover to take that championship from Lio Rush. That's just my thoughts. We then had a match with Xia Li and Vanessa Bourne. And I'm not going to lie, I fast forward through the entire match until I saw Shayna Baszler. So, Xia Li got the win over Vanessa Bourne, and then Shayna Baszler and the Horsewomen attacked Xia Li. And Shayna cut a promo, and she said how great of a weekend she had. She defeated Becky Lynch and Bayley in the main event of Survivor Series at the same time. Very disappointing main event, may I add. That was very disappointing. But then, minutes later, she's interrupted by Rhea Ripley. Rhea said, yes, you might have beaten Becky Lynch. You might have beaten Bayley at Survivor Series in the main event. So congratulations. But you didn't beat me inside of War Games. I pinned you. And the crowd went wild. I was standing up right in front of my television for this. Rhea said, I pinned you at War Games, and I'll do it again. But next time, it'll be for the NXT Women's Championship. And I'm like, yes, we're going to get Shayna Baszler versus Rhea Ripley soon. Hopefully it's in a few weeks for the NXT Women's Championship. And you bet Rhea Ripley's going to be the new NXT Women's Champion when they face off. They're building her up to be the new NXT Women's Champion. But Shayna said, when I face you for the NXT Women's Championship, you're going to be in the same fate just like everybody else. Tap, nap, or snap. Fantastic. I love this. We're going to get Rhea Ripley versus Shayna Baszler. They're absolutely going to tear it up when they face for the NXT Women's Championship. And you bet Rhea Ripley is going to be that new NXT Women's Champion. They're totally building her up to be the next Women's Champion. And I'm all for it. I'm absolutely all for it. Main event, we had Tommaso Ciampa versus Finn Balor. This was great. This was a really great match. Back and forth stuff with Ciampa and Balor. They got 19 minutes to do this match. This was great. At the end, Adam Cole came out, distracted Ciampa with the NXT Championship. Balor gave Ciampa a DDT onto the championship. Balor gave Ciampa a 1916 for the 1, 2, 3, and Finn Balor defeated Tommaso Ciampa. Again, I thought this could end in a DQ, but using Adam Cole and his NXT Championship was a great decision. Ciampa didn't lose clean, that was good. Then at the end, we had Cole posing next to Finn Balor, standing next to him. Cole backs up. Balor gives the guns to Tommaso Ciampa. And then Finn Balor gives Adam Cole a Pele kick. And they teased a triple threat match for the NXT Championship with Finn Balor, Adam Cole, and Tommaso Ciampa. And if that happens, take my money, please. That's going to be a classic. That triple threat match is going to be amazing. So in the future, we could be seeing Balor, Ciampa, and Cole, and Shayna Baszler, and Rhea Ripley, and I'm all for it, guys. I'm all for it. That's it for my TakeOver War Games review and my NXT review. Thank you guys for joining me on this review. Please make sure to like this video, share this video, comment down below what you thought of this week's NXT, please. I want to know all your feelings on NXT. Subscribe to the Big Fight Feels channel for some great content. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter at Joseph Conlon. I'm live tweeting every single week during these shows. And like I said earlier, have a great Thanksgiving, guys. Spend some time with your family, eat some turkey, watch some football. Just have a great day overall. And that being said, have a good one, guys.